All right, let's dive into some of the world's most mysterious corners. We're talking about places that seem to completely defy the laws of nature as we know them. We've got a glowing ice cave, a forest where everything goes silent, a lake that's literally pink, and even a waterfall under the ocean. Yeah, these are the glitches in the matrix of our planet. So let's get started. This whole journey really makes you ask a pretty big question. We like to think we've got a solid grip on how our planet works, right? Gravity, biology, physics. But what if there are places where the rules we just take for granted? Well, where they just don't seem to apply. And these aren't just pre-spots for a postcard. Oh no. They're profound natural puzzles. These are locations that totally challenge our assumptions and give you this incredible sense of awe, and sometimes, yeah, even a little bit of fear. They're like riddles written right into the earth, reminding us that there's always something new to discover. Okay, first up, we're heading to the super remote Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. And this place, it honestly looks like it was pulled straight out of a fantasy movie. It's a cave, sure, but it's more like an ethereal palace made of ice and light, and it's all forged in the heart of a volcano. Just try to imagine stepping inside this thing. You're surrounded by these shimmering walls that are just glowing with these unearthly colors. It doesn't even feel like you're on solid ground. It's more like you've stepped inside a giant, perfectly cut sapphire. The whole space is lit up, like some kind of hidden cathedral of light. So what's the trick here? How does this happen? Well, it's this incredible dance between fire and ice. There's a geothermal hot spring flowing underneath the glacier, and it carves out this tunnel from below. As the ice on the ceiling gets thinner, it starts to act like a natural stained glass window, filtering the sunlight and setting the whole cave on fire with color. But here's the twist. This absolutely stunning beauty is incredibly fragile. The cave is basically in a constant state of tension because it's right next to an active volcano. The very same heat that helps create this amazing place is also melting it from the inside out. That means it could collapse at any moment, turning this dreamlike palace into a seriously deadly trap. Now, for our next location, we're going to a place of deep and honestly pretty unsettling quiet. We're off to Japan, to the Aokigahara Forest, right at the base of Mount Fuji. And this place has a much, much darker reputation, one that's born from its unique geology. You've probably heard of this forest. It's infamous around the world, tragically known as a place where many people choose to end their lives. But even beyond that sad human story, there's this eerie, almost unnatural feeling here that people have been reporting for centuries. So what is it that makes this place so strange? Well, for one, the trees are packed so tightly together that they just seem to swallow sound, creating this disorienting silence. There's no bird song, hardly any animal sounds, and here's the kicker. The forest floor is volcanic rock, super rich with magnetic iron from an ancient eruption. That's why compasses just spin uselessly and even GPS can fail you. It's this crazy combination of sensory deprivation and getting lost that leads some to believe there's some kind of inexplicable energy here that affects your state of mind. The human tragedy here is so real that the government has put up signs like this one all through the forest. They're just these somber reminders of the deep emotional and psychological weight that's connected to this profoundly silent place. Okay, let's shift gears completely. Our next stop is this vibrant, almost surreal wonder in Senegal, West Africa. Prepare to see a color you would never, ever expect to find in nature, a sight that seems to defy biology itself. And no, your eyes are not playing tricks on you, and that image is not photoshopped. This is Lake Ritba, and its water is naturally, vividly pink. It seriously looks like someone just dumped thousands of gallons of strawberry milkshake into it. Especially during the dry season, the color gets so intense it almost looks fake. Which, of course, is the first thing everybody asks. And it's a good question because, lakes just aren't supposed to be this color. Is it pollution, some weird mineral? Nope, the answer is actually alive. So, the secret here is a tiny organism, a type of algae called Dunaliella salina. Now, this little guy is what we call an extremophile, which means it loves living in conditions that would kill just about anything else. In this case, the lake's incredibly salty water. And to protect itself from the crazy intense sunlight, it produces a red pigment. You can think of it like natural sunscreen. So when billions of them all do this at once, they turn the entire lake this absolutely breathtaking color. And to give you some perspective on how salty we're talking, in some parts of the lake, the salt content is right up there with the Dead Sea. And just like the Dead Sea, that means you're incredibly buoyant. You can just lie back and float in this pink water, no problem. It's this really unique mix of strange biology and a vital resource for the locals, who've been harvesting salt from its shores for generations. For our next stop, we're heading deep underground in New Zealand, into a cave that holds an entire galaxy inside its dark, damp walls. This is a place where you don't look up at the night sky because it's right there on the ceiling above your head. Imagine you're on a little boat, drifting in total silence, total darkness, and then you look up and see this. The ceiling is covered with thousands of tiny blue-green lights, and it creates the perfect illusion of a stunning, star-filled sky. It's just a magical, almost spiritual experience. So what are these stars? They're actually the larvae of an insect that you can only find in New Zealand, and they're called, you guessed it, glowworms. This is a fantastic example of bioluminescence, where a living thing creates its own light, but they're not just putting on a show for us. This light has a very specific and very deadly purpose. I mean, how clever is this? Each one of these glowworms hangs down these sticky silk threads from the ceiling. The beautiful light they give off attracts other small insects, which fly up towards the glow and, wham, they get stuck. So this mesmerizing starry sky is actually a giant, silent hunting ground. It's a beautiful and, well, brutal display of survival. Okay, let's head to our final destination, and we might have saved the most mind-bending one for last. We're going off the coast of the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, where there's something going on that looks like it should be totally impossible. Just look at that. From the air, it looks for all the world like a gigantic waterfall, with tons of water just cascading down into some deep abyss at the bottom of the sea. The sight is so convincing, it is genuinely hard to believe it's not real. It messes with your whole perception of reality. So what is actually happening here? It's one of nature's greatest optical illusions. There is no waterfall. What you're actually seeing is sand and silt from the island's coastal shelf being pushed off a ledge by powerful ocean currents. The downward flow of all that sand, which you can see through the crystal clear water, creates the perfect illusion of a massive waterfall plunging into a deep trench. This spectacular illusion is the perfect way to wrap up our whole journey, isn't it? It's just a powerful reminder that our planet is full of wonders that play tricks on our eyes and completely challenge our understanding of what's real. What you see is not always what you get. So from a fiery ice cave to a deadly sky of stars and a waterfall made of sand, we've seen places that totally bend the rules of nature. And it just leaves you wondering, if these unbelievable places exist right out in the open, what other incredible secrets and illusions is our world still hiding from us, just waiting to be found?